Okay guys, I'm going to go through the new Nova balanced pressure valve for the Autococker. Okay, and there's quite a few of them getting to be out there, so I want to do a quick instructional video because this installs a little bit differently than you're used to. You're going to take your old valve out, obviously, and you have to use that valve tool and the jam nut. But when you install this, you're going to need a 1/2 inch nut driver, okay? Because what we did was we made the housing one piece, and it's going to be real easy to slide it in there. So I'll show you an example here. I did a cutaway on an old body I have, and you can see where everything goes here. You got the seat and the front spring and the rear spring and hammer. This is going to screw in and bottom out right here, and it's got a beveled edge, so that stops the backflow of air. So you do not need an O-ring there. Don't worry about that. You do need to put your little lug here, your little nut back in here, and I highly suggest blue Loctiting that. You can Tef tape it, but just make sure you don't get any Tef tape where it can get into the valve. But you do need to replace that. It doesn't actually hold the valve in place, but it stops air from escaping, okay? Also, if this will work on a 99 or a 2K, but you need to be aware of the fact that you can't use some of these hammers they put out have a pocket in the front of them, have an indentation. You won't be able to use that. This thing has a very short stroke, and it won't actuate the valve enough. So you're going to need to get a hammer. You know, a lot of the hammers are going to be like this anyway. You just need flat face. Okay, highly suggest. You don't need anything fancy. You don't need a lightweight one or a real heavy one. Just the stock, hammer with the flat face. So make sure we understand that. I didn't want to make the stem any longer to accommodate that, because I want this to open and close quickly, and that obviously affects your efficiency. So you don't want it open any longer than it has to be, in order to get the velocity you want. So that's the purpose in that. Next thing, you've got the spring that goes in the front here. You need to make sure you're using a very light spring, which I supply the two springs here. They're pretty light. You shouldn't need anything else. Now, different cockers, I know there's different setups and different regs, but usually I'm using the light spring and going in a couple turns, and I'm getting velocity. And I've done this on a dozen different models of Autocockers now. We keep testing that, but there again, there's spring kits out there that you can get if you need to change that. I don't think you'll have to. That's why I'm supplying them. Okay. Real quickly, let's go over how this thing functions. There's a lot of misconception about what a balanced pressure valve does and what it doesn't do. First of all, its main purpose is to take the forces off of opening up the valve so that you can use lighter springs. And on sear guns, which in the past we've made these for Spiders and Tippmans and other sear tripper guns too, to take the forces off of the sear and the lug, so you have a nice smooth trigger pull. So that's really the main purpose of it. It's not going to give you some kind of crazy low pressure that you didn't have. It's not going to do that. The cockers are what they are. But we do want it to operate efficiently and open and close correctly. And that happens, and the balancing forces that cause that are because of the differential areas. Okay. Now this is what we call rear load one. The front face seal here, the poppet here, face seals here. That's your main seal. Okay. That surface area is the main force that you want to overcome when the hammer goes forward. But what we've done is that small hole goes all the way through. I don't know if you can see this in the video, but it's going to go all the way through to right here. Now the other O-ring actually is in the bottom here. There's two O-rings. Let me see if I got one here. like this. It's actually down in the bottom. That's the rear seal in the back. What happens is the air goes all the way through and it'll come out this little hole, and that's in between these two O-rings. Okay, so the air's acting on this surface in the front to close it. The same pressure is coming out the back acting on this O-ring, which is just a diameter smaller than the front. So it's offsetting about 80 to 85% of the forces that it used to take to open the valve are gone. So all you're having to do is overcome the spring force closing it, and about 15 to 20% of the air sealing force on the outside edge of this seal here. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Most people don't understand what's going on, but you've got two very close diameters offsetting each other. Now, if we were to make this sealing surface here and this O-ring in the back the same diameter, this would be neutral, and it'd be able to float under pressure. But you need to have that. That's actually terrible because it wouldn't close quick enough. So you need to have a little bit of closing force, and that's why we have a biasing spring in the front. So when you're installing, you're just going to use your nut driver, go in from the back, and basically screw it down till it stops. Now I'm going to supply a few extra O-rings. This O-ring right here, you got to make sure it goes in there, lube it before you put it in, because you want it to seal. That has to seal, okay? And if you tear it up, there's a few extra in the pack, just replace it and try again. And also turn it to where the slots, there's one on each side, just turn it until you get this kind of lined up from top to bottom, because you want the air when it opens to have a clear path to get up to the bolt. So I hope that's a good little down and dirty quick video to kind of go over this thing. I'll post more about some of the forces and things that are going on in these little valves. And if anybody's got any questions, you just text us at the Nova Enthusiast site or at our website. Thanks.